The Beverly Hillbillies.
Now watch, Duke. I'm going to show you one more time how to fetch a stick.
Jethro, can't you do that out back? Mark's coming by, and I don't want him to see you crawling around like a nut.
Who you calling a nut?
You. You've been trying to learn that dog to fetch a stick for 10 years.
Well, it takes time. He ain't as bright as I am. What you doing, youngin? I'm learning Duke to fetch a stick.
And I don't want Mark to see him.
Don't worry, darling. Come on, boy. I got something a lot better than fetching sticks. Got a nice juicy bone for you.
Ah, dog. Lead me to it.
The bone is for Duke.
How do you like that? I do all the tricks. The dumb old hound dog gets the reward.
Well, take Duke around back and you can share the bone with him.
You don't expect me to gnaw on the same bone with this old hound dog, do you? That's what you call unsanitary.
He's right, Paul. Duke might catch something.
You're gonna get yours, cousin.
Jethro, you and Duke make yourself scarce.
Thanks, Paul.
Come on, Duke. Let you and me go around back. Hey, Uncle Jed, did you see that? He done it. He finally done it. He picked up the stick. Hey, why do you reckon he's taking it around back?
So you can fetch it for him some more. He likes that.
Oh.
Howdy, Mark.
Morning, Mr. Clampett.
Oh, I'm glad I caught you. I got a little word of caution.
Oh, what's that?
Don't say nothing to Granny about going in the water or making Ellie into a frog woman. It plumb sets her off.
I know. I think maybe I got a way to win her over.
I'd like to hear it.
Well, if Granny could ever see the fascinating world that lies under the surface of the ocean.
You can stop right there. There ain't nobody gonna get that little woman under the water.
I'm sure of that. But I brought along a projector and screen and some underwater film.
Oh, I see what you're getting at.
Believe me, Mr. Clampett, when we show this to Granny, she'll be as hooked as everyone else who's ever had a glimpse of the wonders that exist in the ocean depths.
My doggies, Mark, could be. You got the problem whooped. He's only taking you there on film.
He ain't taking me there on nothing. Put me down. Help! Ellie, help! They're gonna drown me.
Ain't nobody gonna drown you, Granny. Mark's gonna show you a movie.
A movie?
That's right, Granny. I think you'll enjoy it.
Is it a Western? I love cowboy pictures.
This isn't exactly a cowboy picture, but I'm sure you'll like it.
Well, let's all sit down and watch together. Must be mighty interesting exploring under the sea.
It's not only interesting, Mr. Clampett, it's necessary for the survival of the human race.
Is that a fact?
We're going to have to learn to farm the sea to feed the people of the earth.
Do tell.
Mark knows a heap about it, Paul.
Well, I'd like to hear more.
Look, Granny, ain't that pretty?
Not to me, it ain't. Looks like the time the creek rose and flooded the tater patch.
That's where folks is going to do their farming someday, Granny.
Well, they sure is gonna have rusty plows. That thing looks like an underwater bat.
Hey, Granny, look at all the fish.
Fish only looks good in a skillet.
Yeah, I bet you never thought there was things like that under the ocean.
No, and let it stay there. Water is for fish and land is for people, and let's keep it that way.
Water isn't such an unnatural place for us, Granny. Many scientists believe that originally we came from the sea.
The only sea I come from was Tennessee.
Granny, it's so beautiful down there. I just love to see it.
Honey, you don't know what you're saying. You gotta be a nut to want to go down there.
I want to go.
See what I mean?
Granny, everybody got a right to their own opinion.
Not when they're wrong. Now, Mark, you listen to me. You give up this frogman nonsense and be a cowboy.
Me? A cowboy?
That's right. A range-riding, calf-roping, dust-kicking cowboy. Live on a ranch and raise babies, not guppies.
Don't mind Granny. She's kind of set in her ways.
Yeah, you could plant that little woman and grow 10 acres of stubborn.
I like the picture, Mark. Made me hungry for fish.
Good morning, Chief. Sorry I'm a little late, but what in the world is all this?
All this, Miss Hathaway, is to impress the young Navy lieutenant who, if he marries Ellie Mae Clampett, will come into $40 or $50 million.
You expect to impress him with this? The first time he was here, you throw him out of the office.
Oh, I explained that to him. The natural resentment of a lowly sailor toward an officer.
Lowly sailor, you were in the Army.
That is a secret which shall remain a secret. To Lieutenant Mark Templeton, I am Spunky Drysdale of the United States Navy.
Spunky Drysdale?
3 ships went down under me.
Only 3.
Well, I didn't want to overdo it.
Why the limp?
Shark bite.
Chief, you are not to be believed.
Well, he believed me. To him, I'm as Navy as Bull Halsey.
Well, you certainly fit the first half of that name.
Watch it, Hathaway.
Oh, but Chief, there's
Skipper to you. Now think Navy. This is a ship. I am the skipper. You are just one of my crew.
Request permission to mutiny?
Stow that kind of talk, sailor. Now, in 15 minutes, I'm expecting Lieutenant Templeton. I want everything ship-shape fore and aft. Hatches battened, bulkheads secured, all hands at the ready. Now, here's your bosun's whistle, your Navy blouse, your hat. Now, heave to.
I may at any moment.
Off the bridge! Off the bridge!
You know, it's kind of hard for an old dirt farmer like me to understand that notion about farming the sea.
But you fired, huh, Pa?
Oh, I am for a fact. The way he explains it makes a lot of sense.
Of course, the most important thing is that we use the resources of the oceans intelligently, not pollute them as we have our atmosphere. And that takes research. Research takes money.
Well, money is something I happen to have a lot of. You recollect how much, Ellie?
Well, last time I heard it was somewhere betwixt 95 and 100 million.
Yeah. Well, what if I would take about 40, 50 million and chuck it into this research?
I can't think of a better cause than oceanography.
Well, let's talk some more about this after you see Mr. Drysdale.
Okay.
What are you seeing him about, Mark?
He didn't say, Ellie. Just asked me to drop by the bank at 11 o'clock.
Well, see you when you get back.
Bye.
Bye.
Lieutenant Mark Templeton to see you, sir.
Pipe him aboard. Ahoy, Lieutenant. Welcome to the bridge.
Hey, you really are Navy, aren't you?
Ah, it's in my blood. Stand watch, Hathaway. See that we're not disturbed.
Aye, sir.
What time is my next appointment?
Lunch at 12 o'clock.
What was that, sailor?
Sorry, Skipper. Mess at 8 bells.
That's better. Shape up or ship out.
Aye, sir.
And secure that hatch.
You know, I don't remember your office being like this. Of course, you threw me out so fast, I really didn't get a good look.
Well, Lieutenant, I explained that. It was suddenly seeing this uniform and having those war years flash before me. Hearing those young officers yell at me, man that gun, defuse that faulty torpedo.
I know, it must have been rough.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not grousing. It was great training. It taught me how to run this bank the way a captain runs a ship, the just way, the honest way, the Navy way.
Sorry to see that shark bite still bothering you.
A life of pain is a small price to pay for those qualities the Navy gave to me. Character, integrity, and courage.
You're a good man, Spunky Drysdale.
Gosh, sir. No one's called me that since I pulled the skipper out of the water at Midway. But I didn't ask you in to hear about my 5 years of self-sacrifice and devotion. I want to know how things are going with you and Ellie Mae.
Oh, fine. She's a wonderful girl.
And her father's a wonderful man. Wise, too. You know, he keeps his entire fortune in my bank because he knows it has the strength and security of a battleship. And if you should ever come into some money, I'm sure you'll do the same.
Speaking of Mr. Clampett's fortune, he talked to me only this morning about the possibility of taking 40 or 50 million.
My boy, tell me more.
Yes, I think it will interest you because you love the sea, don't you?
Love the sea? Mark, my boy, when this old sailor's heart stops beating in this shark-ravaged body, I want it taken out on the bosom of the Pacific and lowered into the everlasting embrace of Mother Ocean.
You really love it.
More than life itself.
Well, that's great, because you may want to make a donation yourself.
Donation? To what?
Oceanography. That's what Mr. Clampett wants to donate 40 or 50 million for.
Oceanography?
Yes, he's convinced that marine research is...
Where did he get that stupid idea?
Well, for me, but I wouldn't call it stupid.
You're right. Insane is a better word.
Mr. Drysdale's for the sea.
It's for the birds. Hathaway on the double.
Aye, aye, sir. You want the lieutenant piped over the side?
I want him thrown over the side.
What?
Get him out of here. If he gives you any trouble, call the shore patrol and have him locked up. He's dangerous.
What happened?
He suddenly went berserk.
Now hear this, off the bridge. Out! Out! Oh. They'll lock him in a brig and throw away the key. Lieutenant Lunkhead, the maniac. 50 million in the ocean.
Hello? Oh, howdy, Mr. Drysdale.
Oh, listen, Granny. Now, whatever you do, don't let Ellie get serious about this Lieutenant Templeton. The man's as nutty as a fruitcake.
I've been telling everybody he's a frog brain, but nobody'll listen.
I'll listen. I'm on your side.
Good. That makes 3 of us.
And we'll win. Who's the third one?
Jethro.
Maybe we'll win anyway. I'll be right over.
Hey, what's going on?
We's all going down to the cement pond for another scuba lesson.
Where you been? Fishing?
Catch anything?
Nothing but a mess of frogs. I'm gonna tote them out to the kitchen so that Granny...
Oh, boy, don't bring Granny no frogs to cook.
Oh, I forgot. She done took a sudden fondness to them critters.
Granny's making pets out of them.
I think she's got one name for every member of the family. And me, too.
I don't know if she does that for love or spite.
Jethro, give me the frogs. We'll tote them down to cement pond and turn them loose.
Okay. Hey, listen, how about me having another scuba lesson, too?
Come along. There's plenty of gear.
Jethro, I'm surprised you ain't too hungry to swim.
I was, but I stopped off at Mama Nacarelli's and had me 24 pizzas.
24? All alone?
Oh, no. Had them with spaghetti and meatballs and macaroni and cheese and spumoni, rigatoni, mustard.
Where you been, Mr. Drysdale?
Spying on the enemy. They're all down at the swimming pool learning to swim underwater.
Oh, here we go again. They's gonna turn into frogs.
They look like 4 frogs now.
Well, sit down and have some... 4?
Yes, Mark, Ellie, Mr. Clampett, and Jethro.
Jethro's gone over to their side.
Yeah, things are starting to look up. Thank you. Now, let's plan our strategy. We've got to stop Mark Templeton from marrying Ellie Mae.
He can't marry nobody the shape he's in now.
That's the truth. He wants to pour millions of dollars into the ocean. He hasn't got a brain in his head.
Oh, it's there, but it's shrunk up. Ain't any bigger than the end of your thumb.
I doubt if it's that big.
Well, there's only one person that can help him now. That's Dr. Klingner.
The psychiatrist in my building?
Yeah, Miss Jane told me. He's a whiz.
I hear he's brilliant.
He's the only one that can change Mark when he goes froggy.
Mark has been to Dr. Klingner?
Oh, I had him there a couple of times. Straightened him right out.
Well, take him back. Take him back.
Might as well take all 4 of them.
Good idea. Group therapy.
Well, there you are, Doctor, and the whole stupid family. Jethro, Ellie Mae, and Lieutenant Mark Templeton.
Who's that little fellow?
I don't know. Must be some neighborhood kid that jumped in the pond with them. Well, you know what to do. Miss Jane is waiting to drive them home, quick as you work your magic. Come in, Miss Hathaway. You know Dr. Klingner.
Yes, hello, Doctor.
Miss Hathaway.
Well, see you at home.
Well, how will you get there?
Oh, I want to walk. I need time to think and pray.
That little lady has the most extraordinary frog fixation. She thinks these frogs here are her family.
Who's the little one?
Neighbor kid. The most remarkable manifestation is her absolute conviction that that one is a lieutenant in the United States Navy.
He is. Well, just his real-life counterpart, Doctor. He's a naval frogman.
Oh.
He's teaching the rest of the family to scuba dive, and Granny is convinced that every time they go underwater, they turn into frogs. She's an extreme aquaphobic.
Oh, well, now I'm beginning to understand. Well, the first thing we must do is to try and treat her aquaphobia.
Well, that won't be easy.
Well, fortunately, she seems to have complete confidence in me, and scuba diving is a hobby of mine.
Well, that's wonderful. Once she sees you in the water, her fears will vanish.
Well, it's worth a try. Oh, can you drive me over?
Oh, of course.
Oh. Sharon, would you mind rounding up these frogs?
Oh, of course, darling.
And I'll be back for my 2 o'clock appointment.
George, I don't think she knows that we're married.
Oh, you're Mrs. Klinger.
Right,
I was about to apply for your job.
Bye-bye.
Dr. Klinger, this is Jed Clampett.
Pleased to meet you, Doctor.
Mr. Clampett?
Ellie Mae?
Howdy, Doctor.
Ellie, you're much lovelier as a girl than you were as a frog.
And this is Jethro.
Howdy, Doc.
Jethro?
And Lieutenant Mark Templeton.
Glad to hear you're a scuba enthusiast, Doctor.
Well, I haven't had too much practice lately, but I still think I can put on a demonstration for Granny.
Isn't that a marvelous idea?
Sure is.
Brilliant.
Well, it's a start. Now, I think it's very important that when Granny gets here, we two be alone.
Oh, we'll make ourselves scarce.
You'll find plenty of gear over there in the dressing room.
Oh, thank you.
Come on, everybody. I sure do hope this will help Granny get over being scared of water.
If anyone can help Granny,
John, here comes Granny.
Hallelujah, he done it again. Let me look at you. Oh, you're beautiful, perfect, just like you was. Oh, I'm so happy. Miss Jane, thank you for fetching him home. And thank Dr. Klinger for another miracle.
Well, you can thank him yourself, Granny. He's here.
Dr. Klinger,
That's right.
where?
He's fixing to go into the cement pond and swim underwater.
Oh, no, not him.
That's right, Granny.
See, Granny, we ain't so crazy. He wants to be a frogman himself.
Oh, no, I gotta stop him. Oh. Doctor, if you're in there, get out quick before it's too late. The longer you stay under the water, the more chance you have of turning into a... Oh, no! Doctor, you of all people, after you've seen what happened to the others, how could you do it? I don't know nobody that can change you back. What's that pretty secretary of yours gonna think when you hop in looking like that? To say nothing of your next patient. Oh, well, all I can do is take you down there and try and explain how it happened. Come on now. Come on over here. Get in the sack. Now, darling, before I show you what's in this sack, I want to ask you, how long have you been the doctor's secretary?
Oh, golly, let's see. I worked for him a year before we got married, so that would be going on about...
You're his wife?
That's right.
Oh, me. That's gonna make it double hard.
Hard to what?
To open this sack. Before I do, I want you to think back to your wedding vows. Remember how you promised to take the doctor for better or for worse?
Yes?
Well, you've had the better. Here comes the worst. There he is, honey.
Who?
Your lawful wedded husband, George M. Klinger, Jr.
Yes, of course. Yes, hi, George. My, you certainly are looking well.
Mrs. Klinger, you're a brave woman, and you're taking this real good. But let's face it, he don't look well. He's a mess.
Well, he certainly isn't the man I married.
That's for sure. What do you aim to do with him?
I think I'll take him home to the children.
You got young'uns?
Yes. They might enjoy keeping him in the fish pond.
Mrs. Klinger, it's one thing to be brave, but if that man ever needed love and affection, he needs it now.
Yes, and you're right, and I will see that he does get it.
Just remembered something. It might be our salvation. Do you remember the story of the pretty girl that kissed the frog and turned him into a handsome prince?
Yes.
Try it.
Well, I hardly think that
I've seen it work, darling. Try it. Pick him up in your hands and kiss him.
Well, I don't...
I won't watch. I know it's embarrassing. Ellie felt the same way. I'll leave.
Thank you.
Good luck, and I'll be praying for you.
Well, George, you wanted to be a psychiatrist.
Hi, hon. Everything all right?
The frog lady was just here.
Granny.
Yes.
So that's why I missed her at the swimming pool. Who's that?
You?
Handsome devil, isn't he?
I think so.
Now it's time to say goodbye to Jed and all his kin. They would like to thank you folks for kindly dropping in. You're all invited back next week to this locality to have a heaping helping of their hospitality. Hillbilly, that is. Set a spell. Take your shoes off. Y'all come back now. Here.
This has been a Filmways presentation.
Viacom.